There we go.
Recording is on.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the governance discussion 24th of November at Dxdow. Today marks the day where Sweden has its first female prime minister, and Germany just coalitioned the new government, if that's how you say it. And we can kick off with a proposal roundup at Dxdow. Somewhat of a light agenda today. So on mainnet, we have a proposal from SkyMind Labs for a rep sync from Xi to mainnet. We have an update to Swapper Beta 8.1, which I believe includes the Carrot implementation. Is that correct?
Yes, it links out to Carrot and supports the Carrot type tokens as rewards in farming.
Awesome. And other than that, we just have a burn and minting proposal of rep, which is actually my own proposal, just moving my rep from one address to the other. And that's everything we have on mainnet pretty much. On the Xi base, we have actually quite a few proposals. Most of them are the Epoch 4 swapper farming campaigns, which are all looking to pass, I believe, in the next day or so. Then we have the XDXD buybacks live. These are, of course, always going on a rolling basis. Then we have a 0x Clom reimbursements for Lisbon and some other stuff in there as well. Just one worker proposal live at the moment right now, which is Lucifos. And then two other proposals which we currently have live on the Xi base are actually moving funds to the Quick Wallet scheme. So we actually have a new wallet scheme, as most of you probably know, on Xi, which is able to do a lot more stuff. Or I guess it's also one of our in-house schemes, which doesn't rely on the old DAO stack contracts that much. So it's a lot more flexible and allows us to do a lot more things. And we've tested it already, I believe, last week or 2 weeks ago with a couple of initial worker proposals going through there. And yeah, we're currently just topping that up with some extra wrapped Xi and DXD, given that you can also create and launch your vesting contracts directly from the Quick Wallet scheme. And I believe the first ones have already been created as well for Ross and August, I believe, already have theirs live. We don't have any proposals live on Arbitrum. And I would like to hand over the mic to Ross and Chris, who will give a demonstration of the Quick Wallet scheme and how you can in the future create your proposal, worker proposal on the Quick Wallet scheme on Xi, and thereby have a number of benefits, including requesting as many ERC20 tokens as you want. So of course, in the DAO stack contracts, you can only request the native token of the platform you're on. So on Xi, of course, that's Xi. And then you can only request some rep and one ERC20 token. So the Quick Wallet scheme has an abundant number of features which make it a lot more attractive. And the reason we use wrapped Xi is actually because that's the only way we're able to send it from the Treasury to the scheme. And even if you're creating your worker proposal still the regular way on Xi, you can also request wrapped Xi because we have a ton of wrapped Xi in the Xi proposal. You just have to post the actual address of the wrapped Xi token. And with that said, I'll hand it over to Chris.
Yeah, and just on that last note, that the wrapped Xi, just something to note for people kind of requesting payments. So the last fund transfer into Dxdow, that was actually deposited in wrapped Xi. So typically people have been requesting just normal Xi, and that's what you request from Alchemy. But right now there's actually only 67,000 Xi in Dxdow, but I think there's like, what, 700,000 wrapped Xi. And so like pretty soon you'll have to make sure you're requesting like WXi instead of Xi. So just be mindful of that when you're submitting proposals.
Or use the Quick Wallet scheme.
Yeah, the Quick Wallet scheme. And just noticing that there will be a little, the Quick Wallet scheme will solve this if you're kind of doing it from there. And there's about there's about 52,000 USDC. I know some people do USDC or contractor payments, but something to be aware of. Cool. Ross, do you want to like explain anything, kind of kick things off? I was gonna maybe like I'll share my screen here.
Yeah, if you want to maybe share your screen, I can sort of explain some parts of the UI.
So this is a testing environment, is that correct? So this is not the Dxdow dot.
Yeah, so this is a
is-
QA environment that's currently got develop branch deployed, just because there was a change that we did. Well, I just did it this afternoon, ensuring that the vesting contracts are starting on the right date. So just to make sure Chris gets the fairest vesting contract he can. That was just a one-line change, but generally, Chris and Dave should kind of be using this environment, but it's not something we should be sharing around. Hence the big red letters saying testing environment. So yeah, if everyone else could continue to use dxvote.eth, that's generally best. But these are also available in the resources channel on the DXgov keybase.
But the change that you just mentioned will probably be pushed to.
Yes, likely next Monday we'll probably do a release. So it'll be available publicly then.
Yeah, and I think just as it's slightly different than Dxvote's still in a lot of like active development, so the releases are coming a lot more quicker, primarily because the ENS is controlled by multisig, so a lot of the releases are happening a lot more quicker for Dxvote. Cool. All right, so new proposal. So this is actually going to be for my October month. So I had submitted this worker proposal for October and November, and I actually have not claimed the first month of October because I was hoping to do it through the quick wallet scheme. So it's going to be 1 month of this October here. And so new proposal here. And since we're using this new cool system, it's going to be the contributor one here. And it's actually already populated this because I tried it out before. So I wish I hadn't done that. But you can see here, you just put your DAO forum post URL, press import right there, and it'll put everything right in here. This is a really cool feature. So if you want to make any addition edits, this is where you would do it here in the preview there. And you do still need to get a title. I know. And I'm actually just going to have this one be the payout for October.
Yeah, there's I think a few people have made the mistake of assuming the import does the title. It's maybe something we should add.
Yeah, I mean, it almost, yeah, I'm not sure if it should or shouldn't, because sometimes the title is a little bit different than what you're seeing in the forum, because it's like, say, draft or something, but maybe it just like has something there. Okay, so we've got Candy Fork Worker Proposal October Payout is the title, and then this is just coming straight from like that DAO talk. And so this is the first half of the worker proposal, so it doesn't include any of the like reflections or anything. So it really is just like the scope for October there. And this does have the calculations in here, but hopefully we're going to do that right through Dxvote here. So I think this is it, and I'm going to press next.
No, Zeth, it doesn't do the title, but we might add it in the future. Yeah, so the example I was talking about was that assumed it did the title, and it doesn't.
Yeah, it had a title. It was just not the title from the.
Yeah.
It was the. Cool. All right. So next here, and then I am in a level 5, as it said in the work, and this is actually going to be not for November. It's actually going to be the beginning of October. And that's October 1 here. Yeah, right there. And I think, as it says here, the DXD all-time high has changed. Please manually provide their all-time high as a start date. So this is actually, you can see on CoinDesk for October 1st. You can see here, actually the all-time high was, I think it was 679 right here on the 1st. You can still see that old one on the worker compensation calculator here, but so we'll just enter that 679 here. And then the more options here is important because I'm only working 90% of the time there. And then I guess I'm not sure, this override amount would be if you wanted to just put the dollar specifically and not deal with the percentage.
Yeah, so likely that would be if you want to just override and add, like, if you have extra expenses right now, it's kind of the easiest way to do that.
Right.
So yeah.
And so then just save.
Yep.
And then, yeah, as you can see here, 7,200, 7.95 DXD. And so that's adjusted there. And then is there anything else?
There's a UI bug here that I probably haven't spotted because I have been using a larger screen. But the footer's going through the UI elements a bit, but ignore that for now. It's fine. Geronimo, this will be fixed when we sort of redesign all of DXvolt, and there's some cool designs going on right now for guilds from Geronimo. Yeah, so rep is another thing that's like kind of it's a great idea, but it's not entirely correct because we're currently using the Xdow. Yeah, so it's currently calculating off of Xdow because I had assumed that was the case, but it's not. So there's an issue in the current sprint to for us to actually look up the mainnet rep, and so yeah, Chrissy's rep here will be
so interesting, but and also in the computation guidelines we have actually where the percent rep should also be affected by the percent working. And so I think typically I get 0.15%.
So I think that's actually a
90
bug. If you click on submit proposal, I think it will just show you a modal first. So if you click on that, I'm pretty
sure. Well, it shouldn't matter in this because if we're using Xdow as the base, that's like still, yeah, so it'll still be a little bit. So I can.
It's actually calculating it with the 90%. I think it's just a bug of not showing it there. So click submit proposal, and we'll see if it's working as I think it is. Yeah. So see here it says 1.5. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can see this is because typically I think it's like 21 or 22 for the last couple of months, so that's a little bit less because it's on the Xdow one.
Yeah, so there's still a few proposals here, sort of issues rather, covering some edge cases. So the one obviously just mentioned there, we need to pull that from mainnet, and so I think we can just go back, like me and Dxdow technically wrote a bit more rep because we calculated it incorrectly, but we can just update that at some point. Also, I think we're also adding an option to select no rep as well. So there's some contributors that don't get awarded rep. There's not actually a way to do that currently. So that'll be another option in the sort of advanced settings.
Cool. And you can see here, it's nice having like this stuff clearly laid out in very specific terms. And you can just see here in terms, this is what we had been using earlier that Ali had been updating here. And so I think we do get, I guess, yeah, there's a little bit different in the rep award, but the DXD and the ETH are the same. So are we good to confirm and submit?
Yeah, we should be good. Just a thing to note, if the all-time high hasn't changed, it'll actually just automatically fill that out, so you don't need to fill this in automatically.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, confirm. So I guess now it's uploading to IPFS. Or no, is it already uploaded to IPFS?
No, it's doing that there. So there's some things that we're actually setting in this final thing. So we're actually setting some tags that we're not showing currently, but things like there's a level 5 tag assigned to it. Just a few things we actually append to the IPFS description.
Okay, so I just submitted the transaction. Assume when it picks it up, it'll get proposal submitted, and then
then
you
we
back
to go back. So there's, I'm sure most people are probably aware of this issue in DXvolt currently, but we have to actually refresh the page to see new proposals showing up. There's an issue for that as well. I believe it's one that one of our new joiners are actually taking a look at fixing. So hopefully soon we'll have that automatically updating.
So hopefully we're seeing, boom, right there. And I love this. This little feather is like my favorite thing about that, and the spinny DXD at the beginning. It's like my favorite thing.
We'll be sure to add more feathers and more spinny things then.
The feathers, like obviously it's something that I have submitted, or my address is submitted, and the check mark is something that. So you can see it right here. like boom, everything's in. And then of course this would be a DXD. I'll make sure I'll probably do this after, but yeah, you'd have to stake DXD here because it's the quick wallet scheme. And then everything is kind of clearly laid out on what the calls are. So I guess the first call here is the mint reputation one. This is the amount we said to me from Dxdow. The second call is the Wxdi transfer. We can see here 7,200 to me. And then the third call, DXD, I guess is the approve, I think. Yeah, this is just the approved DXD. And then this is actually creating and sending it, I think.
Yeah, so it calls the create function on the DXD vesting factory.
Nice.
Awesome.
And then this is also great. Like the history at the bottom is really great for seeing all of the different actions. You can kind of see who staked on what, who voted on what there. And it takes you to the Block Scout link if you're looking at
another cool little feature we could maybe show if you go, if I haven't tested if this is actually working yet here.
Dangerous.
Yeah, well, it's not dangerous, but if you go back to like the sample view of the calls. Oh, sorry, I mean in the proposal.
This.
Yeah, so if you hover
right
over the mint of, there we go.
Nice.
So it actually converts that. It's using still just the. It might make sense for us to hard code this as taking it from the main net total. Currently, it's just Xdi.
Right, because it looks.
So it looks smaller, but it's actually because it's going off of like the date the proposal was submitted.
1st. Right.
And so the reps obviously inflated a bit, so it actually shows up as like a lot less.
When I would submit my November proposal, my November proposal would be off of November 1st rep, but this is based off of November 1st or October 1st Xdi rep, when really it should be October.
Yes, but the amount it's calculating the percentage of just now is like, so it says as of like 24th of November. So it's just going off of today's.
It would be nice to pull all rep on each network and then just use each address's max amount of rep, kind of get a total like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, either doing that or I mean, we need generally there's like other cool things we can do once we start pulling rep from every network as well. We can show like summaries of where your rep is and highlight that.
The call number 3 is the vesting contract that's being created, right?
Number 4, yeah.
Okay, but the address of the vesting contract is the one in call number 3, right?
Yes.
And when you vest, will that in the future be through DXvote that you can claim your vesting, or do you have to go to Block Scout and enter?
Currently, we don't have it, but I'd imagine in the future we'll have some sort of tooling where we can just like pull one user's like all of their vesting contracts and just show them that. Yeah. Currently, you'd have to like go in and manually do it.
The code is verified, by the way. You just scroll down, Chris.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the code is verified.
Oh, nice.
Lol.
That might have been Augusta's doing, or it's magic.
It says it was done a month ago. I thought Augusta said it wasn't.
Oh, this is the vesting factory.
This isn't the wallet scheme, yeah.
This is the factory, so this is what spawns all of the vesting contracts. We still need to actually like create some documentation for how to verify the smart contracts, just so you can go and check it out.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh yeah. So if you currently want to go and like see your vesting contract, you can find it in the logs in the transaction. Again, we'll eventually have like nice UI for this. But for now, that's how you would do it.
Well, you got a clicking clock or a ticking clock until you need to get it.
Obviously, it's not made yet. It'd be on the execution of the proposal, that transaction in the logs in there. It will show you the address of the new contract.
So this was probably just created, or no? I guess it only gets created once the proposal is passed.
Yeah, it's only once it's executed. Yeah.
Right. So this is from the one last, the test ones, and then you and Augusto.
Yeah, so all those ones there that say vesting contract address in like the table, that address is the vesting contracts themselves.
Cool. Awesome. Oh, look at that.
It also actually, I think, should have appended the amounts to the description as well, just for reference.
There's
So if you
been
scroll down to the description.
a state.
Oh, someone staked on it. Nice.
Yeah, I believe that's Sky, if I know my addresses. Thank you, Sky.
What is DX?
It's a bug.
It should be DXD.
Oh.
It's a fun bug.
Is that a bug or a typo?
Absolutely a bug.
Do you remember everyone's wallet by heart?
Like the first four. I mean, no. I mean, of like 4 or 5 people, I probably know the first. Like,
it'd be easier if you all just got ENSs and we could more easily see each other.
Yeah, but they already did an airdrop. Why would you get an ENS domain now?
Yeah, because it looks better in DXvote.
Yeah, I'm joking. I actually have one. How much DXD do we actually approve on the approval? Can we do like a high amount?
What do you mean? I think it's like infinite.
Oh, it's an infinite approval? Okay.
Yeah.
Is that
you can take all of Chrissy's
related
60 DXD?
to the approval for Gen, which is like 100,000 or something, which people have started running into an issue where you basically can't use you can't use DXvote or Alchemy unless you reapprove additional Gen, and it's kind of a tricky method to do it. But
right, I think that's more of a Gen token restriction, unless so in DXvote we actually decide the amount to approve, and that is just the max, which is default for most dApps.
Cool.
Why is Xdow spelled with a capital X?
I don't know. What's the proper spelling of it? I always type it differently.
I think it's like here on Switch Network. Small X and then capital D.
Yeah.
I mean,
Make a PR then.
It's unusable with this.
Make a PR then.
Bug or typo? Classic.
By that time, it will probably be Gnosis chain already.
If it's a typo, you can fix it yourself.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else to show on DXvote? I always think it's fun to. Unfortunately, I think there's some things missing here. I can make a PR for this.
Oh, go for it.
But there's no swapper token or DXD.
Good point.
I'm only noticing that because of the swapper token just showed up in Etherscan yesterday.
Yeah, so I'd imagine that's likely just the configs for Xdow, because I know it shows up in Arbitrum. Obviously, it's like the main token we have.
This is on mainnet actually, though, that we're on here.
Yeah, I think we only have swapper likely in Arbitrum. Would be my guess.
I'd be curious to know how these are sorted, because I guess on probably be good to go on by largest amount. But anyway, this is never getting.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot we can do in here. Like currently, the way we even look at these is from the config. It would kind of likely make sense for us to actually just pull it, maybe more directly from, there's a few ways we could do it actually.
Yeah, and then just one more to show off. I think a really great feature that at least I'm excited about is this export to CSV or even copy titles as markdown. That's easy for the governance agenda, but this export to CSV is a cool way if you want to get all the proposal data information from a certain point. You can get, I think this is everything that's on chain, which includes the title. So it would be like title, scheme, submitter, like date, the amount that any kind of tokens are moved. So that's, I think, a really great one for feature.
Yeah, that was one that Medusha implemented. Chris only feature. Our users is maybe referred to as.
Export to CSV is a great function on I think in general as a nice way to make sure that data is not centralized or something. I'm trying to think if they have it here, because it's just a way of yes, any data on this site you can take with you without kind of the permission. So I think it's cool. But anyway, cool. Maybe we can cut this part or cut some of the video there if it's like a 3 or 4 minute one when I was actually submitting the proposal. If anyone has any other questions, but yeah, it'd be great to see this quick wallet scheme moving along and lots of cool features added.
Yeah, and I believe, Ross, from now people can just start submitting their worker proposals there, right? It's production ready, so to speak.
Yeah, hopefully. It'll be good to find some more bugs with it. The only one thing I'd say is if you want to do it this week, let me know and just double check, because the that change that I mentioned about the vesting contract start date is obviously still not in production, but you should be fine to use that. Maybe just let me know and I'll double check it's working fine. But yeah, should be good to start using it. If there's any edge cases or anything you think that's missing from it as well, just let me know. There's a lot we can still add to it. As well, just in like general, we're currently focusing mostly on guilds, but like one of the other big things we want to do is building out more of these contributor proposals. Proposal types. So the contributor proposal is a proposal type currently in the UI. So if you click on like create proposal, you get this grid. Currently, there's two options: the contributor proposal and custom. So we're kind of trying to cover all of the use cases and make them into these like nice, simple UIs. Currently, they're not super nice UIs. Geronimo can help with that. But just making it a lot more simple so people don't have to know what scheme they're using. They don't need to know, like, they don't need to enter it in way or whatever. It'll just be as automated as we can make it. And hopefully that will kind of improve a lot of the UX issues we currently have.
Awesome. Anyone else have any questions about the quick wallet scheme or anything? I'll take that as a no. And then actually the last thing on our agenda is the forum post about staking ETH with Dxdow Treasury funds. I believe that got an overwhelming positive response. I'll just post a link again here in the chat. So everyone voted in favor of it, and it looks like 1,000 Ether is a good starting amount. So I'll rework the current text into a proposal and probably submit that on chain this week as well. So exciting times ahead in terms of starting to yield some Ether.
Dave, on that, was there it mentions like the 3 different platforms to stake on?
Yeah.
Was the like for a proposal, is there a need to like establish which one to use, or was it the idea to use all 3, or was there a strategy around that?
Yeah, so the idea was to allocate 50% to Lido, which is of course the most established one and which is relatively easy to acquire, and then 30% to Stakewise and 20% to Rocket Pool. That was in the proposal so far.
Cool.
And yeah, Lido, you can get it on Curve. You can get it on the AMMs. While Stakewise and Rocket Pool will probably have to mint it, but I believe Stakewise, I believe, has a Gnosis app, and Rocket Pool is also quite straightforward with the Wallet Connect. So, definitely doable.
Yeah, the only thing I would just more thinking about this, so if this is 1,000 staked ETH, the next question, I guess, is what to do with it then. And so obviously it's earning yield and could sit in the treasury, but I'm also potentially interested in how that maybe could be used in Swapper or like another liquidity provisioning idea. So something to think about probably after we start getting the staked ETH.
Absolutely. I mean, there are ways, of course, to increase the yield of the staking ETH, right? Of course, it all comes with risk as well, but definitely something to look into.
Yeah, so the main Lido pool is like the Curve staked ETH pool, and it's on Curve, so it's like very efficient and effective, and it's big. One idea would be, I don't know how much staked ETH is on like Arbitrum, And so theoretically, you could do a staked ETH pool on Swapper on Arbitrum with like a really low fee. And that could be the place that, unless Curve is already having staked ETH on Arbitrum, I'm not sure, but that could be like the only one of the main places to get staked ETH on Arbitrum. I don't know if that's an Dxdow, yeah, too. So.
Awesome. Well, that pretty much wraps up the agenda, actually. So I don't believe Double has joined yet, right? No. So I don't know if we want to cut the recording here or if you wanted to include Double in the recording.
Yeah, I'll cut it here. Let's stop it.